Hey everybody, welcome back to HPI Auto. Today we're doing a review on the 570S. This is the entry-level McLaren and is also a great bargain supercar, as well as the 12C. A lot of the issues on these cars are very similar to the 12C. McLaren likes to use the same components, mainly the engine, across all their platforms up into the 720. So a lot of the issues you see on the 12Cs was kind of the same issues on the 570. There are a couple of different ones to go over on the 570. One of the first ones seems very strange, but literally every single 570 that we get in here is missing the tow hook cover. It goes right there, and they are extremely hard to get, and usually we wait about a month to get them, and then McLaren does not release their paint codes, so you have to actually go to a McLaren specialist that paints, and then he can get the paint codes and then paint the tow hook cover. So usually it's a 2-month process for something simple like a tow hook cover. So when you're looking for one of these cars for sale, look for that, because it's something that's not a big deal, but it can be a real big hassle in the long run. Also, kind of walk around this car, McLaren, like other brands like Porsche and Ferrari, they all have their own tire compound, whatever. But if you look on the McLarens, it is the MC. So it's a little trick to know if the car has the proper tires on there. Just because they're a Pirelli or a Michelin doesn't mean they're exactly the right tire for the car. So you always want to see that MC on there. That's a quick way to know that, hey, the car's taken care of, it's gone to the right facility, they know what they're doing, they put the proper things on the vehicle. This car right here has a lot of carbon on there, with the mirror caps, the door inlays, and it actually shoots all the way up through and on the back side. Carbon on the side splitters, the ducts are all carbon. This car has a aftermarket wing on there, which seems to be a popular thing on the 570s. Carbon fiber diffuser. One of the nice things about the 570, as far as working on the vehicle, this whole panel comes out. Now, when you're in the car and you hit just, to get to the engine bay, inside the car you have a button here, and you would think it would kind of open up the back end, when in reality all it does is open up that little flap, which gives you access to the coolant and oil. It's only a few bolts to get this whole panel out, and then you have access to pretty much everything. That means the exhaust is super easy to do on this car. Oil changes are much easier, because on the 720s, the 650s, and the 12Cs, you have multiple panels with the armadillo shell, and it's a real pain. It's a real pain to remove and get to where you need to do on the car. This car in particular, I'm not sure if this is going to be an issue coming in the future. I mentioned on the 12C video that the windshields do crack from track use or heavy driving. Still a factor on the 570, but this car in particular, the rear glass has actually cracked. You can see it kind of starting, it kind of goes down to this corner and up. So I'm not quite sure if that's going to be a thing to look out for in the future, or if it's a one-off with this car. Luckily, a lot of these cars have been made, a lot of these cars have been wrecked, so it's pretty easy to source that rear glass on the secondary market. There's no need to go to McLaren and spend thousands of dollars to get a new one. So it looks like the glass is held on just like the windshields are, with glue, and from the looks of it, I have yet to do this job yet, so I will learn in the future. It actually mounts from the inside, not the outside, but I'm not sure on that yet. We can kind of go over that whenever we do that. As far as everything else, it's pretty much the same as a 12C. There is just the button for the door, which makes it super easy. You do have to slam the door shut fairly hard, just like any McLaren. There's no HVAC controls anymore on the door. That's all taken care of. The iris is much better in this car, and most McLarens in general is when you get out of the car, make sure that sometimes you hit the stop button and then the car doesn't power down, and you close the doors, leave, and the car's still powered up. Just kind of make sure always that the infotainment center is turned off. That's the easiest way to know the car's, hey, it's shutting down, we're good to go. The 12C video, batteries are still an issue on these cars. They are McLaren. I showed you on that video where the plug-in was. Same thing on this car. You get your McLaren charger or the C-Tech. Honestly, the McLaren chargers I see fail pretty frequently, so get a C-Tech, so I recommend. And then you just plug it in, and that's how you charge the vehicle up. Keep it on a tender if it's not being driven. It's pretty simple. It's going to save you a lot of headache in the future. All right, guys, that pretty much wraps it up. There's not a ton of issues on these cars. They're still fairly new. I mean, they're 6, 7 years old. They're not quite like the 12Cs. They The 12C already came out. The 650s were coming out. They kind of put it all together with this car. It's their everyday McLaren, their entry-level McLaren. It's not wild and crazy. There's no hydraulic suspension. It's coal and springs. So they figured it out with this car, and it's a very reliable vehicle, and not many of the little issues that you see with the older ones. If you have any questions or anything, this car is for sale. It's a beautiful spec. There's tons of carbon. There's orange accents. That's what you want to see on McLaren. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. Any questions, comment below.